approximately 2 hours. Any other information, please get as quickly as possible. So for the next 30 minutes, there was nothing stated between the Situation Room and the White House. This is really crucial. So after that statement by Salinger, for the next 30 minutes, silence. For the next 30 minutes, silence. Finally, 30 minutes later, a voice came over the speaker system on the airplane that came from the White House Situation Room. Wayside, stand by. Wayside, stand by. Wayside, stand by. That message came over the speaker system in the plane every 30 seconds for a period of several minutes. Wayside, stand by, 30 seconds. Wayside, stand by, 30 seconds. Wayside, stand by. What do you think that means? What do you think that's stating? The Situation Room is saying to the plane, wayside, stand by. What are they waiting on? Stand by for what? See what the results of the shooting were. Later in our lecture, you'll see what the term changes to. It'll go from wayside, stands by, to wayside, the president is dead. Who's wayside? Secret Service code name for who? Oh. Pierre Salinger. Okay? Now, close your books and listen to this story. I don't have anything in my notes about Robert Manning all the years I taught this class until April 24th, 2002. And I'm teaching my class just as we're studying this class today. And a friend of mine who worked for the Fish and Game, what's called the Game and Fish here, they call it the Fish and Game in Montana, knocks on my door. Paul Pearson, really good friend of mine. And he interrupts my class and he says, Randy, I got to have you meet somebody. And he brought this fellow in, and he said this guy had something to do with the government during the time Kennedy was assassinated. I'm just taking him fishing. This guy was worked for the fishing game. He also guided fishing trips over by Red Lodge, Montana. Who walks into my room? Robert Manning. I know nothing about Robert Manning, and Robert Manning tells my class in person the story I just told you about tearing off that message and giving it and this and that. So he authored a book which has nothing really to do with anything except for it says Swamp Root Chronicles, Adventures in the World Trade. That's why he was going to that trading conference. Here's a picture of him in 2002 with the Roberts Rocket shirt, and then he signed the book for me on April 24th, 2002. But how about that? Not a clue, and the guy walks right into your classroom and tells the story of how he had an impact on American history. So anyway, thought you'd enjoy that. It took me by shock. Okay, tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to continue this timeline and I'll just give you a preview that the motorcade is going to reach Parkland Hospital at 12:36. And then I'll tell you, what goes on from there. Taking the president in, etc., etc. Okay? 12:36. Then at the end of the period tomorrow, I will show you, not at the end of the period, but during the period, I'll show you this Zapruder film so you can see what the 3 shots did. Now, I'll end this with this. I don't think there's any question in my mind that 3 shots are fired. I don't think there was 4. I don't think there was 5. I don't think there was conspiracy theory numbers. I'm not convinced that that was the order of the shots or the shots themselves. I will give you a prelude that Governor Conley, in every discussion he had, said there was no way he was hit with the first shot because he heard the first shot. So I think the first shot hit Kennedy, the second shot hit Conley, and the third shot hit Kennedy. I think James Tate's thing was just something I'll explain tomorrow. Okay? Have a good day. We'll continue on here.
Don't forget, Key Club members, meeting today at lunch in the library. You'll be planning this month's activities. Forensics meeting today after school, room 300. Soraya Durant, you have a message in the office.
True. Well, are you going to transport that back? I mean, that's a good point. They did clean it up. They weren't. This is the grossest thing I've ever heard. This is the pieces. You want people to go, they absolutely cleaned it up. Absolutely. But we'll talk about that. And all those things they did, conspiracy theorists just grabbed and ran. Well, they did that because it was a cover. They did that because it was a cover. But we'll really get into all that and explain to you so you understand. But they absolutely did, because they didn't, and I'll tell you why. The autopsy was supposed to be done now, to tell you exactly why they didn't do it. The conspiracy theorists grab it and say, oh, they were covering something up because they did the autopsy somewhere else. Well, there were reasons why. That's good. That's a good point. You read that. Good job. But we'll get into all that in the next 2 weeks.